now California Highway Patrol taking over this pursuit. You can see that primary unit right behind him there, a couple of secondary units. Again, just trying to keep up with him right now, doing much more manageable speeds. And right now, it is safe enough for them to keep a pretty close eye on him without losing the visual of that silver Hyundai. But if he speeds up and starts weaving through traffic like he was just a few minutes ago at over 100 miles per hour, much different situation. So right now, this is a manageable pursuit. Hugging that left lane. No signs of exiting the freeway anytime soon as we make our way into the Calabasas area. Go ahead and push in there. Looks like Florida plates on the back of this vehicle. Passing Valley Circle Boulevard, the Sheriff's Department helicopter, Ventura County Sheriff, has pulled off of this pursuit. California Highway Patrol attempting to get an air unit in position here. Right now, we are the only helicopter. However, there are several ground units following this pursuit. Stolen property, caught that. Got it, thank you. So some more details trickling through here. Apparently, in addition to failing to stop for that stop sign in Ventura County, the suspect is wanted for stealing property from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, sorry, the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department. So obviously a lot more to the story that we will be digging through in the next couple of minutes here. Again, law enforcement has more intel on this suspect than we do, and you can see they are proceeding appropriately. Look at he's having a little trouble maintaining control of the vehicle. It's just going really fast here, basically hugging that left lane, speeding up though close to 100 miles per hour. Was doing about 70 a second ago and has really pushed the pedal to the metal, closing in on 100 miles per hour once again. Every chance he gets with traffic letting up just a little bit, he continues to speed through here. In Woodland Hills now, continuing southbound side of the 101 freeway, coming up on DeSoto Avenue, heading straight towards the 405 in the next several miles. He'll be heading into Encino here in just a couple of minutes, and then he'll have a decision to make. Thank you, sir. Really a tricky situation for this suspect who's just trying to get away. It's more of an annoyance traffic jam than anything else, anything but bumper to bumper. It's not exactly slow traffic, but at the speeds he wants to go, it's certainly an annoyance to say the least, as CHP is now very much able to keep up with him at a safe distance at these speeds, slowing down now just a little bit with traffic once again. And now Burbank PD contributing with their helicopter overhead, able to assist California Highway Patrol. coming up on Tarzana, slowing down to about 60 to 70 miles per hour. Still holding on to that number 1 lane. California Highway Patrol with a complete pursuit package of 3 units following, giving him a little bit of room to play with here, but you have 2 black and whites, the primary, secondary, and then a supervisor behind him. Jay, go ahead. Yep, it's going to slow down here in just a second. In fact, the next several hundred feet are going to bring him to a complete stop at some point here. Not sure what the jam up is here. It's a brief slowdown southbound side of the 101 freeway, and then it'll clear up once again as he makes his way through Tarzana. So again, holding on to that number 1 lane, very few places for him to get through here. There's no left shoulder to escape by. So he's basically just using that number 1 lane, and those cars in front of him obviously hear the sirens behind them, and they're kind of making room for him to navigate the left side of the freeway. Now he's starting to cross over, sees that he's in a little bit of a jam here. Back over to the number 3 lane, California Highway Patrol, keeping up with them through this jam. And as I said, it's going to clear up here in the next couple hundred yards. So a little slowdown to slow him up, and then I expect we will see him push that gas pedal once again into Encino. Is that passenger window up or down? I'm trying to, it is down, and let's see if we can peek through there. Any indication of a passenger? It does not look like it, although we have very limited visibility through that, that passenger window. Once again, very heavily tinted windows on this silver Hyundai Elantra, wanted for failure to stop at a stop sign in Ventura County, and apparently associated with some property theft in Santa Barbara. So this has come all the way down into LA County. CHP's West Valley Division taking over this pursuit as he continues on the southbound side of the 101 freeway, coming up on Reseda Boulevard and getting ever so close to the 405. That's where we're going to see if he decides to commit to the 101 or if he possibly shows an attempt to get off or transition onto the 405 freeway. Thank you. Cool. Correct. Suspect gesturing at the driver's side window. Can't quite make out, is that a hand gesture or if he is just trying to communicate with those black and whites behind him. Clearly a little agitated there, very assertive as he or she, I believe it's a he, lighting up a cigarette, looks like. You saw that brief gesture at the driver's side window, sticking his arm completely out, and now back inside the vehicle with the driver's side window rolled down. Once again, we did observe some minor front-end damage to this vehicle. Not clear how that occurred, if he's already been in some type of a collision, if there have been any other attempts to bring this to an end earlier on in this pursuit. But there is some front-end bumper damage on the front right side of the vehicle, so some questions there. In the meantime, he is continuing to straddle that 1 and 2 lane, southbound 101 freeway, passing Balboa Boulevard. And it looks like he's committing to the 101 freeway here for now. Just trying to squeeze through any gaps in the traffic that he can. It's really relatively light traffic overall, but like I said, just enough to get in his way, especially with his willingness to do triple-digit speeds down the freeway. It's not letting him do that, at least at this point. He was doing upwards of 115 miles per hour through Ventura County, but once he hit LA County, a different situation entirely. Back over to the number 1 lane. He's got a little bit of a shoulder here if he decides to get around anybody on the left, but right now holding on to that number 1 lane, his cigarette in the left hand, both hands currently on the steering wheel, looks like, and California Highway Patrol continuing the pursuit through the San Fernando Valley as we come up on Haskell Avenue. Not showing any signs of getting off here. The 405 is off to the right there, and he is now committed to the southbound 101 freeway. Good news for us, because there is a flight restriction over West LA that would prohibit helicopters from going down through the Sepulveda Pass. In the meantime, he is continuing further east through the valley here, although of course it's technically the southbound side of the 101 freeway. If you're familiar with this part of town, you know the 101 goes east and west through the southern edge of the San Fernando Valley. He's going to make his way through Sherman Oaks, and as he does that, he's going to encounter yet more traffic, this time a little bit slower and a little more persistent, as this jam up will slow him down all the way through towards the 170 into North Hollywood. He really is in a predicament here. We'll see how he decides to weave through here, or maybe starts to employ that shoulder. He does have that shoulder to work with on the left. For right now, holding on to that number 1 lane, California Highway Patrol coming up along his rear and his right rear. And now the vehicle coming to a complete stop. As traffic continues to roll on here, the pursuit vehicle has come to a complete stop. The driver, all right, and gassing it once again. Coming to a peculiar stop there. He really had nowhere to go per se, but he didn't have to come to a complete stop there in any event. He's back on the move, holding on to that number 1 lane, thinking about what this traffic is all about, and maybe even looking to see what the traffic conditions are like on his phone. Who knows? Because right now, this is going to get interesting as he gets through this traffic jam. It's really slow for the next several miles. One more time. Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. You know, sometimes it feels like these pursuit drivers have all the luck when it comes to traffic. However, this is one of those few times where the traffic is really in his way. He's not showing any signs of getting off of the freeway, which leaves him cruising at about 25 to 35 miles per hour. And the reason that's important and interesting is that if he continues at these speeds, CHP may look for an opportunity to bring this to an end with a pit maneuver. The problem is that it has to be a clear area where there's no other motorists at risk. So if he slows down enough in an area of the freeway where there's no immediate danger, there comes the pit. There's the pit in the middle of the freeway, right there, middle of the freeway, the rear bumper coming off, and now the driver face to face with these CHP officers with their guns drawn, the vehicle fully disabled at the moment, spinning out in the number 2 lane of the 101 freeway, again, southbound side of the 101 freeway at Woodman Avenue. The pursuit driver with his hand out the window, potentially a second hand out the window, or those 2 hands, I think 2 arms out of the driver's side window, trying to open the door, appears to be complying with these officers, as that was a perfectly executed textbook pit maneuver in the middle of the 101 freeway. Very rare, very unusual, and a perfect pit nonetheless here in Sherman Oaks. Driver stepping out of the vehicle, hands in the air, following their commands. Several officers with their guns drawn, a taser aimed squarely at the suspect. The driver stepping backwards slowly in their direction, and he will be placed under arrest in the next several seconds, and we will find out if there's anybody else inside that vehicle. Does not appear to be, but they will confirm that in just a second as they take him into custody. They will confirm that there's nobody else inside. Do we see anybody in the passenger side there? Looks like the vehicle does appear to be empty. They're going to approach it very carefully here, very methodically. Looks to be empty. They will pop the trunk just to be sure, but this pursuit coming to a peaceful resolution just before rush hour traffic here gets going. He was stuck in it, and they saw a perfect opportunity to spin that vehicle out of control and without incident placing that suspect under arrest. And this is a code 4, all clear. That vehicle is empty, and they will look to get traffic going here on the 101 freeway in short order. Of course, they'll have to bring that vehicle over to the side, wait for a tow truck to clear that number 1 lane unless they can get it over to the side of the freeway. But this is a terrible time of day. Check out the traffic jam that was already slow, now coming to a halt through Sherman Oaks here. Again, the southbound side of the 101 freeway now at a standstill at Van Nuys Boulevard. A very slow afternoon in store for these drivers. This will have residual effects on the afternoon traffic for the next hour for sure, and it's going to take some time, as I mentioned, to get that tow truck out here and to clear the freeway completely. But fortunately, this pursuit has come to an end here in the San Fernando Valley. Reporting live from Air 7 HD, I'm Chris Christie, ABC.
Simon Des, Sky 5. Okay, they just removed the car off the freeway, and they're probably going to clear these guys in just a second, and then it'll be open. I cannot hear her very well. And they just opened it. Okay, Nydia, thank you. Good catch.